Good morning, boys and girls. We've been talking about and learning about birds all week long now. And when we started the week and created our chart, we came up with some great things that we already knew about birds and some great questions that we wanted to know about birds. And through the week, we've already learned a bunch of things. So let's review our chart to find out what we wanted to know, what we already knew, and what we've already learned to see if we need to answer some more questions. So at the beginning of the week, we knew that birds have wings, we knew that they lay eggs, and we knew that they use nests. And then we weren't sure if all birds could fly at the beginning of the week, but we thought maybe all birds could. So then some questions that we came up with, we wanted to know, can all birds fly? That was a really good question. Where do birds make nests? I didn't really know where exactly birds made nests, and you didn't either. So that was a good question that we could work on finding out this week. And the other question was, what do birds eat? Now, some things we already found out this week through our different activities and our stories that we've been doing. We found out that penguins and ostriches are birds and they can't fly. So that answered that question. All birds can't fly. Most can, but some can't. Birds eat seeds, nuts, berries, and even other animals. So they eat like berries off of bushes, and then the big eagles and birds like that eat fish and even other little small animals. Owls might eat a mouse and stuff like that. So birds do eat other animals if they're big enough. So something that we still haven't answered this week is, where do birds make nests? So I found a book, and we're going to read it, and it's called You Nest Here With Me. And the book is written by Jane Yolen and Heidi Stempel. They're the authors. That means they wrote all of the words you're going to hear. And it was illustrated by Melissa Sweet. That means she drew the pictures. What do you think this book's about? I think you're right, Olivia. I think it's about birds' nests. I can't wait to find out. Let's see. It says, You nest here with me. There's a bird on a branch. My little nestling, time for bed. Climb inside, you sleepy head. Like baby bird, your nest can be anywhere. There's you and me. There's a mom with her little girl, and she's saying that her home is like a nest. It's where they're together. Pigeons nest on concrete ledges. Catbirds nest in greening hedges. There's some pigeons. That's a bird, and they make their nest on ledges. That bird makes it on green bushes. That's what a hedge is. Tiny wrens in shoreline sedges, you nest here with me. There's some birds making them in some tall grass along the water. Grackles nest high in fir trees. There's a bird way up high in the tree. Terns all nest in colonies up on high cliffs above rough seas, but you nest here with me. So this bird called a tern, they make their nest in colonies, and that means colonies means they make them all together in big groups. There's an owl. Some owls nest in oak tree boles, some down in abandoned holes. So a bowl is a hole that's in a tree. So some owls make their nest in a tree, and some make them in the ground. I didn't know that. Hawks may nest on telephone poles. I didn't know that either. Those are the poles you pass while you're riding in the car. Some birds make their nest way up high on those. But you nest here with me. Coots nest low in cattail reeds. Sparrows' nest are full of weeds, plus tangled grasses, feathers, seeds. But you nest here with me. So they make their nest down on the ground, right by the water. Swallows nest above barn doors. Plovers nest on sandy shores. There's some birds. I've seen those birds in a barn before. Their nest is kind of long, and the baby birds go right down inside. Eagles nest upon high tors, but you nest here with me. So eagles like to make their nest way up high too. And I bet you they have really big nests because they're such big birds. Cowbird, the uninvited guest, leaves her eggs in a foster nest, but you nest here with me. So this bird is called a cowbird, and it sounds like they go and lay their egg in another bird's nest. Look, I see 3 eggs. 1, 2, 3 that are the same, and 1 is different. So these are called cardinals. They must have laid these 3 eggs, and this cowbird came and laid its egg in their nest. That's really interesting. Killdeer, once their eggs are laid, perform a broken wing charade. The clutch can rest, they're unafraid, as you nest here with me. So these birds make their nest right on the ground, and when they have their babies, when their babies hatch from the eggs, they run around in the field pretending that their wing is broken, and that makes they're called predators. Predators go after the babies. It makes them go after the mama bird instead, and she can get away and keep her baby safe. Have you ever seen a bird running around in a field? They make noise and they go, "Killdeer, killdeer," and they act like they're hurt. I've seen them in the field before. Maybe next time you're outside playing in the springtime, you can look for one. Birds nest in trees, in sand, on stone, in colonies, or all alone. They nest in holes and under eaves, in barns and reeds, on poles and leaves, and safe inside the nestlings grow while learning all they need to know. So it sounds like birds make their nest in all different places, up high in the trees, on the ground, on cement ledges. They make them all over the place, but every nest is made for the same reason. Do you know what that reason is? You're right. They make their nest to lay their eggs so their eggs can hatch into their babies. And then the babies stay in the nest and grow and learn everything they need to know, like how to eat and how to fly. And then when they can do everything they need to know, they fly away and go and make their own nest. So there's the mom with her little girl again. It says, "So till you're big as big can be, you'll nest right here in our home with me." So they're kind of saying that children are like birds in it, like baby birds in a nest. Your home is your nest, and you're going to stay there with your mom and your dad until you learn everything that you need to know. And then when you're ready, you're going to leave the nest and go out on your own, get your own house, and go to school, get a job, and have your own kids someday, just like the baby birds. They stay there until they know everything they need, then they go off. So that's our story, and at the end it talks about each different bird, and it shows pictures of their eggs and their feathers. We can learn a lot more. So that's our story. You nest here with me. Did that help answer our question? Where do birds make nests? You're right, it did. So we can add that to our learn side. We learned that birds make nests in all different places because it talked about birds making nests on the ground, up in high trees, on cement ledges, in bushes, on the ground, in the weeds. It sounds like birds can make nests all over the place. I thought birds just made nests in trees. I never really thought about the fact that they could make them on the ground or in bushes also. I learned something too. So this week on Tuesday, we went on a nature walk and we collected a bunch of different materials from outside. I have my bag right here. I have some sticks and some grass and some leaves and just a whole bunch of different things, and each of you should have your bag too. Now today we are going to make our own bird's nest. So you saw different pictures in the book about the different bird's nests and how they can be made of different things and in different locations. And some nests are long and some are really, really big. And I bet you some are really small. So the first thing we're going to do is draw a picture of what you want your nest to look like. I drew a picture already. And then you're going to go to your small groups, and at each table, there's going to be Play-Doh if you want to use it. We have our bag of materials that we can use from collecting outside. And we also have this kind of stuff that I bought from the store. It's like some moss that you can use to put on your bird's nest too, if you don't have enough materials. Then we're going to make a bird. And you can use the pom-poms. And we have glue. And we have little googly eyes. So you can make your nest. And then you can make a bird that fits inside of your nest. And then I even have little tiny pom-pom balls that we can use for the eggs in our nest. So I'm going to show you what I've already made. Now remember, yours doesn't have to look just like mine because every bird makes a different kind of nest. So here's mine. First, I put some Play-Doh down and formed it kind of into a nest shape. Like a nest is something that you want to be able to hold the eggs. So it's kind of like a bowl, like something you would eat your cereal in the morning, something that will hold something. So then I made a little bird out of pom-poms and googly eyes. And in the nest, I put 3 eggs. So then you can put your bird back in your nest and it can sit on the eggs until they're ready to hatch. So we're going to go to our small groups. You know where you're supposed to go. And on the tables is paper so you can draw out your nest. And then we're going to create your creations using Play-Doh if you want to. You can just use the grass and sticks and stuff you created. We got glue. We have everything you need. And if you need something, I know where to find it. So I'll have examples of different nests, different pictures that you can look at. We have the book that you can look at and just have a lot of fun making a nest for your cute little bird to lay their eggs. I can't wait to see what you're all going to create. Let's get started.